Hello and welcome to Before Exams. Here we help you to prepare for your competitive examinations. Subscribe to our channel so that whenever we post the content about your exam, you get the notification about it. Hello and welcome to this part of IELTS speaking section. First of all, congratulations for completing the IELTS listening section. Now we'll move to IELTS speaking section. In this lecture, we'll be studying about what is IELTS speaking, that what is the thing that you have to do there, what are the type of questions that are asked there, and what basically is the motive of IELTS speaking. Then what are the different sections of IELTS speaking. There are 3 sections. We'll be discussing about those sections in the videos, and then overview of different sections. So we'll be learning about a brief overview, that what will be the different types of questions which are asked in IELTS speaking, and how you have to answer those. So let's just go ahead and learn about IELTS speaking. Now, first of all, what is IELTS speaking? What the examiner intends to test in IELTS speaking? What are the different parameters which are checked in IELTS speaking? Let us go ahead and let us learn that. IELTS speaking is an interactive test between a candidate and the examiner, and it will be very close to a real life situation. So the questions that will be asked in IELTS speaking, that will try to bring you as close to the real life situation as possible. The speaking test intends to assess the ability of the candidate to communicate verbally. In the IELTS listening section, you were assessed on your ability of the listening skills. In this, you will be assessed on communication, verbal communication, and they'll be asking a range of questions by which they'll be checking your verbal communication. Let's just have the overview of IELTS speaking section. This will be a one-to-one interview. That is, you will be going in a room where there will be an interviewer, there will be a single interviewer, and you will be there in the test. Your test will also be recorded in a recorder, so always try to speak little loudly so that it gets recorded in that recorder, because that recording is sent to another assessor, and he or she also assesses you. The duration of the total duration of test is 11 to 14 minutes, and as discussed below, there are 3 sections of IELTS speaking. Now, what are those 3 sections? First section is the introductory questions. That means the questions, very simple questions, are asked in the first section. It will be either on your family, your hometown, or your hobbies or sports, something like that. Second is the cue card question. In this type of question, there will be a card which will be given to you, on which the topic will be written, and you have to speak for continuously 1 or 2 minutes. Now this will basically be a monologue wherein only you will be speaking. There will not be a two-way interaction. There will be only one-way interaction where only you will be speaking. Then comes the interview style question. Third section is the interview style questions, wherein you will be asked questions on the topic related to the second section, and there will be a range of questions which will be asked. That will be a two-way communication, wherein the examiner can also counter your responses. Let us learn about the first section, which is the introductory section. Now, the motive of this section is to make you relax and let you talk naturally. As I told you before, that IELTS speaking test intends to be as close as a real life situation. So the first thing that they want to do is they want you to relax, because you might be very nervous at that time. So they want you to relax, and they do it by asking very basic questions. First of all, the examiner will introduce himself or herself, and then the examiner will ask you to introduce. After that, they'll check your identity. Your identity is checked by checking your passport. Then there will be 12 basic questions that they will ask, and that will be on different topics. That will be very basic topics. The topics could be hobbies, studies, home, family, work, your sports, your hometown. This will be the different topics on which the questions can be asked. Duration of this test is around 4 to 5 minutes. Always try to give the answer which are not one word, which are not crisp or short. Let's understand it with the help of example. What is your job? So never give the answer, I am a software developer. No, this is not the way to answer, because if you will be answering in one word or just one line, how will the examiner will assess your communication skills if you are just answering in one word? If they ask you, do you like sports? Yes. This is not the answer, because yes is not a way, or yes is not the proper way to understand or assess you on your communication skills. So always try to give the answer which are lengthy. It should not be very lengthy, but it should be in a way that they will be able, the examiner will be able to assess you. For example, so what is your job? I am a software developer. I have been working as a software developer for past 5 years. I really enjoy my job. My work is to develop websites for different clients. So this could be the answer, wherein you introduced what is your type of job, and then you added some information with it, so that it could be a little lengthy. What town or city you belong to. So don't just give the answer, I belong to, let's say you belong to Hyderabad, so I belong to Hyderabad. No, this is not the answer. You should answer it first of all in 2 to 3 lines, and also try that you should not repeat those lines. So let's move on to the part, which is the cue card section. Now, in this cue card section, you will be given a task card. Basically, there will be a card on which the question will be mentioned, and there will be some points that you need to include in your talk. Now, always include those points in your conversation, or I mean, sorry, not conversation, but in your talk, as it is a monologue. So always try to include those points in your talk, because it helps you to speak continuously, because in this you have to speak continuously for 1 to 2 minutes without interruption. You will not be interrupted by the examiner. You have to speak continuously, and it really becomes a challenge for most of the candidates to speak for 2 minutes, because they do not have the content. That is an impromptu speaking, right? Impromptu speaking is something wherein the question is given at that instant only, and then you have to speak. So that is basically an impromptu speaking, wherein you will be speaking on the topic there itself. You will know about the topic there itself. So always try to use those points so that you could be very confident while speaking. We'll just learn about this in the coming example. Now, whenever the question is given, you have 1 minute to prepare the notes for it, and then you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes continuously without interruption, as I just informed. This is an example of a cue card section. So describe a person who has apologized to you. So the points that you should include is when it was, who the person was, and why this person apologized to you, and explain how you felt about it. So this helps you to prepare notes. The thing is, now you do not have to look for the points that now you do not have to structure your answer. So this will really help you to structure your answer. What you have to do is you just have to answer these questions. This will really help you to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I hope that is clear to you. Let's just go ahead and let's just move on to the next section, the part 3. Part 3 is the interview section. Now this section is something which is related to the second section, and in this section a two-way conversation is there, wherein the interviewer asks some questions on it from you. Now this will be an interactive session, and the interviewer will ask questions related to the topic of the second section. So in this, interviewer, as I just said, interviewer will ask the questions which is related to the second section. There will be a range of questions. Always answer the questions at length, just like the first section. Never answer the question in a short or a crisp manner. It should be a long answer. Example of these the questions in this section are: is family important in your country? In what kind of jobs is the youth interested in your country? So you do not have to just tell about the type of job. For example, the youth is these days the youth is interested in acting skills. No, a job which helps them to give their acting skills. No, not like that. You have to answer in a lengthy manner. It should be at least 3 to 4 lines answer, so that the examiner is also able to assess you. So these are the 3 sections and an overview of the IELTS speaking section. We'll be doing a lot about IELTS speaking section, that how you have to structure your answers, what are the points that you need to remember while answering these questions, and how you can go ahead and how you can answer the cue card question, which for many of the candidates is the most difficult task. So we'll be working on those sections, and I hope we'll be very confident after completing this IELTS speaking section. So that will be it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.